Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today, wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP. And once again, this is the one-day chart. We're sitting here at $1.98. It looks like XRP is about to break back above $2 once again. But earlier today, when it was down here under $1.90, I had so many people that I ran into ask me, are you worried about XRP? People texted me, are you worried about the price of XRP? I'm like, well, what changed for XRP? Nothing. So I'm not worried at all. I know that breakout is still coming. Now we got ETFs going live tomorrow. Once those ETFs go live, if it follows the similar pattern of all these other XRP ETFs, most likely they will dump Bitcoin once again, bringing the entire market down again. We've seen it every single time an ETF goes live. Will this time be different? We really don't know. And look at Bitcoin back above 85K. I would love to see both of these cryptocurrencies continue pumping throughout the rest of the weekend leading up into Monday morning. This way, if they do decide to dump Bitcoin, it still doesn't go down as low as it could have went when we were back here, sitting at like 83K. But nobody knows what's going to happen next. It's too uncertain right now. And I'm sure everybody's going to be saying, we are so back the second XRP breaks back above $2. But I'm not going to say it until we see at least 2 days of upward movement. And look at the fear and greed index. I have never, ever seen it at 10 before. People are very fearful of crypto right now. Everybody wants to sell. They think all these cryptocurrencies are going to continue to go lower. They think the sky is falling. They think Bitcoin's going back below 50K. Everybody wants to jump out of this market. But I'm telling you, the rebound happens very quick when it happens. Remember this right here? Kaboom, XRP hits $25 million in trades in just 60 seconds. That happened on November 16, 2024, and it will happen again. When XRP goes off, it's going to go off without a warning. It's just going to happen. And you want to be holding when that happens. I'm telling you now, it's going to happen when we all least expect it. It might happen during the middle of the night when you're sleeping. You wake up, you look at your portfolio, and you're like, wow, what is the price of XRP? And all of a sudden, it's at a new all-time high sitting in price discovery. It can happen that quick. You know, everybody thinks it's going to take days for XRP to move up in price. But if a real, true breakout begins, it's going to move so violently to the upside, and it's going to happen so quick. Anybody on the sidelines, they're going to be paying a premium for this cryptocurrency. Long-term Bitcoin trader predicts XRP supply will turn scarce and price could surge in 6 to 9 months. Now, Grok says 3 to 6 months. Other questions, the way you word it when you ask Grok, you could come up with a time frame of 4 to 6 weeks even. It's all over the place, but everybody knows that scarcity is coming for XRP. And is it going to happen over the course of 6 months? I think it's going to happen by the end of this year. All these ETFs going live, every single one of them are doing great. They're performing even beyond what people were expecting. And they're going to swallow up a lot of that over-the-counter XRP and those dark pools of XRP very quick. Then all of a sudden they turn to the exchanges. And the second that happens, we are going to watch the price of XRP change very quick. That's when the true breakout is going to come. XRP's future could shift towards institutional control. Analyst claims XRP may become inaccessible to retail buyers by 2030, shifting towards institutional-only usage. I see a lot of people talking about this right now. It was never meant for retail to begin with. And as scarcity happens and people are selling as the price goes higher and higher, you might not be able to buy back in. And it's going to happen before 2030. Most likely it's going to happen even before 2027, maybe early 2028. We really don't know how fast it's going to happen, but we all know it's coming. You got to look at it like this. What is Ripple's business model? Is it retail driven? No, it's institutional driven. And those institutional players, they don't enter this space with a couple $100 a week or $20 a week. They come in here with millions upon millions of dollars. And all of a sudden, they start swallowing up that supply very quick. And when it's gone and people are still selling, they're going to be selling right into the hands of the ETF issuers. They're going to be selling directly to the institutions right off of the exchanges. This is why DeFi was so important, earning from your crypto. This way you never have to sell it. You never have to worry about you selling and not being able to buy back in. Volatility is a gift to the blank. I can tell you right now, volatility is a gift to the working class. That's the way I always looked at it. Anybody out there that's working a 9-to-5 job, volatility is for you because that's what's going to set you financially free. But you have to have patience for this space. You cannot come in here, overinvest, and be impatient the entire time. You need to be able to come into this space without emotion and say, okay, today's a red day. I'll get through it. Tomorrow will most likely be a green day for XRP. But volatility is definitely a gift to the working class because nowhere else are you going to get an opportunity like what you get in crypto. I always said it will set you financially free. A few things to consider while the price of XRP is down. This is a great post. Is the DTCC still moving towards T+0 settlement? Absolutely. Are dozens of global institutions still building on Ripple plus XRP ledger rails? Are spot ETFs, ETPs, and institutional vehicles still preparing to launch? Is tokenization of bonds, treasuries, real-world assets, and trade finance still accelerating? Are liquidity hubs, AMMs, sidechains, and hooks still going live? Is the world heading towards real-time value transfer instead of 1970s rails? Is supply still tightening while long-term holders keep accumulating? If the answers are yes, then what exactly changed? Nothing changed. You know, this is why I tell you to look around before you sell your XRP. Look at everything that's happening right now. We're transitioning from the current financial system into an entirely new financial system. We're pushing away from that broken SWIFT system. Ripple has the best alternative out there, and you're invested in that by being invested into XRP. Nothing changed, even though the price is down. If you hold 1,000 XRP, here is the value if major banks worldwide use XRP for cross-border transfers. So they came up with a price of $8,000 for every 1,000 XRP you hold. Scarcity is going to be a bigger factor. And the reason why I think 1,000 XRP in this run in the short term is going to be worth $50,000 plus, because I think the price of XRP is going to go above $50. I see people saying it's going to 300, 589 and beyond. But even conservatively, we're going to see 1,000 XRP be worth somewhere around 50K. So every 1,000 XRP you hold is going to be worth $50,000. And that's short term. Everything else you just pile up on top of that. If Ripple captures a good percentage of the derivatives market, you add that on top. If the US comes out with crypto regulations and it benefits utility-driven cryptocurrencies, you add that on top. Tokenized assets really start to boom. You add that on top. That's why 50K is just the beginning. Most likely, there's a better chance you'll see 100K for every 1,000 XRP you're holding during this cycle. Because people never thought XRP was going to $3 back in 2018, yet it did. Now what are they projecting? $27, possibly $50 plus. I think it's going to shock everyone and outperform everything else in this space. How high can XRP go? That's another big question. Like I said, $50, conservative. But in all actuality, how high can it go with scarcity? Nobody really knows. And you could go and try to factor it in based on market cap in previous cycles. But once you start dealing in utility and XRP being utility driven, that's a game changer. And you bring scarcity and you couple that with utility, who knows where XRP stops? If we go into a utility run, who knows where the price of XRP is going to go short term. Tom Lee, crypto has not peaked. The cycle top is still 12 to 36 months away. I think he's totally wrong. I think the top is not in, but I don't think it's 12 to 36 months away, unless we see a full-blown utility run. But he's talking about Bitcoin and Ethereum because he's a Bitcoin Ethereum guy. For Bitcoin and Ethereum, I think the cycle is going to be over by early 2026. It might even be over by the end of this year. But to think 12 to 36 months away, I think that's way too long for Bitcoin and Ethereum. I think it's going to be utility-based, real-world value, real-world use case going forward. And even the institutions, they're already looking in that direction. And Decent is giving up to 40% off Black Friday sale. I never sell you guys anything, but I do have an affiliate link for Decent Wallet. And I always urge you to keep your crypto safe. So this is a good chance for all of you to save some money. You could find the link down below. But I just wanted to give a shout out on that because if you could save some money, you might as well save the money. And here we are with XRP very close to $2. It's actually at $2 right now. But is it going to hold up? We really don't know. I would love to see XRP get closer to like 220 going into Monday when those ETFs launch. Because if they're going to crash out the price of Bitcoin again, guess what's going to happen? XRP is going to come back down with it. And it's going to be another one of those red days where everybody's thinking it's over for XRP. But these ETFs, what they're actually going to do is bring a lot of value to XRP. The price is going to appreciate. How long is that going to take? Nobody really knows. Some people are now speculating that Monday's launches of the Franklin Templeton and others, that the price might actually start to go in the other direction. But so far, the ETFs have not been good for XRP. But it's not so much that the ETFs aren't good. It's just the fact that I think they're dumping Bitcoin, bringing down the rest of the market. And these institutions like Franklin Templeton and others, they're getting XRP at a discounted rate for those ETFs at the same time. But I think even the money shifting away from the Bitcoin ETFs, and they're starting to go into other ETFs, most likely Solana. We'll see a lot of that money in XRP ETFs, HBAR ETFs, and so on. But let's see how it all goes from here. And until it all happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.